Permission to be Powerful is a reader-supported publication. To receive new posts and support my work, consider becoming a free or paid subscriber. Controlling people have been telling me what to do my whole life. What to think, what to believe, who to be. And for years, I let them. Not because I liked it, but because, deep down, I didn't know anything else. If you grew up around controlling people, breaking free isn't just about leaving one bad relationship. You have to unlearn an entire identity. I call that identity the chauffeur. Why we're attracted to controlling people. This might be hard to hear. But if you keep attracting controlling people, you need to ask yourself, am I drawn to them because they feel familiar? When I first started therapy, I thought I just had bad luck. But then my therapist asked me, do you just like this girl because it's familiar? And suddenly, everything clicked. The patterns. We can't see. If you grew up around control, you develop a sixth sense for finding manipulators. Your brain recognizes the pattern before you even realize it. It feels normal. It feels like home. That's why some people always end up in controlling relationships. Not because they like being controlled, but because that's all they know. What controlling people really think of you. Here's the hard truth. Controlling people do not respect your humanity. They have an idea of who you should be, and you're expected to fit into it. They don't see you. They see a version of you they want to control. That's why guilt trips work so well. Because they make you believe you're the problem. They make you feel like you're selfish for having boundaries. You're wrong for thinking differently. You're ungrateful for wanting autonomy. But the truth? They're not offended. They're controlling you. Breaking the spell. Recognizing the game. Once you see the game, you stop playing it. You realize guilt trips aren't emotional. They're strategic. Control isn't love. It's power. Their reaction to your boundaries isn't about you. It's about them losing control. That realization? It changes everything. Why some people are easy to control. Some people never fall into controlling relationships. Why? Because they never learn to associate love with control. But if you're empathetic, if you're a people pleaser, if you're used to putting others first, then you're prime real estate for controlling people. That's why boundaries feel so foreign to you. Because for most of your life, your needs came last. The moment I knew I had to change it took me 35 years to recognize this pattern. Yet, I had lived this way my whole life. When I looked back, I saw it everywhere. Saying yes too quickly. Apologizing when I didn't do anything wrong. Feeling guilty for having basic needs. That's when I knew. I had to stop waiting for people to change. I had to stop expecting controllers to respect my boundaries. I had to start respecting myself. Why saying no feels so hard? If you struggle with saying no, ask yourself, do I feel responsible for other people's emotions? Because that's the hook. Controllers make you believe, if you loved me, you'd do what I say. If you were a good person, you wouldn't say no. But love isn't obedience. And being a good person doesn't mean sacrificing yourself. How controlling people keep their power. Here's the trick. They make their control seem normal. And if you push back, they punish you. Maybe it's anger. Maybe it's guilt trips. Maybe it's silent treatment. But it's always something. Because they need to retrain you to obey. The first step to breaking free. Start by recognizing what's happening. If you're in a controlling relationship, ask yourself, am I actually choosing this? Or am I operating from fear? Because if you're afraid of their reaction, that's your answer. What happens when you start saying no? The moment you start setting boundaries, they will accuse you of being selfish, act like you've changed, try to make you feel guilty. Why? Because they're losing control. And some people? They would rather burn the relationship down than respect your autonomy. The best response to a controller. I'll think about it. It's my go-to line. It buys you time. It prevents them from pressuring you into a decision. It gives you space to see clearly. But here's the bigger truth. You don't need the perfect line to deal with controlling people. You need to ask yourself, why do I tolerate this? When you finally see the truth. One thing that helped me break free. I realized control only worked in one direction. She could control me. But if I tried to set a boundary, all hell broke loose. That's when I understood. This wasn't about love. This wasn't about respect. This was about power. The hardest truth to accept: controllers don't change. They've been this way their entire lives. They had decades of experience before they ever met you. So if you're waiting for them to suddenly respect your boundaries, you'll be waiting forever. Your path to freedom. Step 1. Recognize the control. Pay attention to how they react when you set a boundary. Step 2. Stop defending yourself. You don't have to explain why you deserve autonomy. Step 3. Start saying no. Even if it feels terrifying. Even if it makes them angry. Because the only way to end the control is to stop participating. Final thought. You are not the problem. If someone tells you who you are, refuses to hear your side, punishes you for thinking differently, that's not love. That's control, and you don't have to accept it. Not from a partner, not from a friend, not from family. Set yourself free, take back your power, and never let anyone control you again. Until next time, Anton Dancer, writer, Buddhist. Permission to be Powerful is a reader-supported publication. To receive new posts and support my work, consider becoming a free or paid subscriber.